Hello everyone, welcome to Current Affairs MCQs program. Let's begin with the previous day's practice question first, which was Symbix 25 is the maritime bilateral exercise conducted between which of the following nations? Option A, India Sri Lanka, option B, India Singapore, option C, India Senegal, and option D, Indonesia Singapore. And the correct answer is option B. Indian naval ship Satpura has arrived at Singapore to participate in the 32nd edition of the Singapore-India Maritime Bilateral Exercise. SIMBEX is an annual maritime exercise conducted by the Indian Navy and the Republic of Singapore Navy and is one of the India's longest uninterrupted maritime drills, which was started in 1994. The exercise aligns with the India's Vision Mahasagar and the Act East policy, emphasizing strategic engagements with neighboring countries. So the correct answer is option B.
Welcome SSC aspirants. Drishti SSC is here to support you every step of the way. With free live classes, previous year questions, PYQs, demo classes, exam notifications, and strategy videos. Whether you're starting your journey or looking to refine your preparation, we've got you covered. Subscribe to our channel and stay updated with all the resources you need to crack your SSC exams. For more details, call us at 8750187501.
Question number 1. Consider the following statements. India achieved 20% ethanol blending in petrol in 2025. Second, according to the International Renewable Energy Agency, India is the world's largest solar energy producer. Third, wind power holds the largest share in the India's renewable energy capacity. How many of the statements given above is/are not correct? Option A, only one. Option B, only two. Option C, all three. And option D, none. The correct answer is option B. India achieved 20% ethanol blending in petrol in 2025. The blend rose from just 1.5% in 2014 to 20% in 2025. Hence, statement 1 is correct. As per International Renewable Energy Agency, Renewable Energy Statistics 2025, India ranks 4th globally in renewable energy installed capacity, 4th in the wind power, and 3rd in the solar power capacity. Hence, statement 2 is not correct. As of June 2025, solar power holds the largest share of India's renewable energy, contributing 47.6% of the total non-fossil capacity, followed by wind power at 21.78%. Hydropower accounts for 20.35%, while biopower contributes 4.92%, nuclear energy makes up 3.73%, and small hydropower holds a share of 2.17%. However, hence statement 3 is not correct. Hence, option B is the correct answer. Question number 2. Consider the following statements regarding Panchayati Raj institutions in India. First, PRIs were given constitutional status through the 74th Constitutional Amendment 1993 by adding a new Part 9 to the Constitution. Second, the minimum age for contesting Panchayat elections in India is 21 years. Third, Article 243 Clause L of the Constitution mandates the establishment of a States Finance Commission every 5 years. Which of the statements given above is/are correct? Option A, second and third only. Option B, first and second only. Option C, first, second and third. Option D, first and third only. The correct answer is option A, 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act 1992, not the 74th, which came into force on 24th April 1993, granted constitutional status to Panchayati Raj institutions and provided for a 3-tier system. First, Gram Panchayat, village level. Second, Panchayat Samiti, intermediate block level. Third, Zilla Parishad, which is district level. It added Part 9, which constitutes Article 243 to 243O and the 11th schedule to the Constitution. The 74th Constitutional Amendment 1992 pertains to urban local bodies, which are municipalities, and added Part 9A to the Constitution. Hence, statement 1 is not correct. The minimum age of contesting Panchayat elections in India is 21 years. As per Article 243F Clause 1 Clause A of the Constitution, a person shall be disqualified for being chosen as a member of Panchayat if he or she is less than 21 years of age. Hence, statement 2 is correct. Article 243L mandates the governor of a state to constitute a state finance commission every 5 years to review the financial position to the panchayats and recommend principles governing resource distribution. Hence, statement 3 is correct. So, the correct answer is option A. Question number 3. Consider the following statements regarding CAR cell therapy. First, CAR cell therapy involves genetically modifying a patient's T cells to enable targeted destruction of cancer cells. Second, NextCAR19 is India's first indigenously developed and approved CAR T cell therapy. Which of the statements given above is /R correct? Option A 1 only, option B 2 only, option C both 1 and 2, and option D neither 1 nor 2. The correct answer is option C. CAR cell therapy is a type of immunotherapy where a patient's T cells are genetically modified to express special receptors that help them identify and destroy cancer cells. Hence, statement 1 is correct. T cells, a type of white blood cell, are collected from the patient's blood using a process called apheresis, which separates T cells from other blood components and returns the remaining parts to the patient. NextCAR19 is India's first indigenously developed and approved CAR T cell therapy manufactured by ImmunoAct, a company incubated at IIT Bombay. It marks a significant advancement in affordable cancer immunotherapy in India. Hence, statement 2 is correct. So, the correct answer is option C. Question number 4. With reference to the Aravali Green Wall project, consider the following statements. First, it is an ambitious plan to create a 1400 km long and 5 km wide green belt buffer around the Aravali mountain range. Second, the project spans across the states of Haryana, Rajasthan, Gujarat and Delhi. Which of the given statements given above is /R correct? Option A 1 only, option B 2 only, option C both 1 and 2, and option D neither 1 nor 2. So, the correct answer is option C. Aravali Green Wall is an ambitious plan to create 1400 km long and 5 km wide green belt along the Aravali range to combat land degradation and curb the eastward spread of the Thar Desert. Hence, statement 1 is correct. The project spans Haryana, Rajasthan, Gujarat and Delhi, aiming to restore degraded land from Porbandar to Panipat. Hence, statement 2 is correct. So, the correct answer is option C. Question number 5. Consider the following statements regarding the India Electric Mobility Index. First, it is an initiative of Niti Aayog to evaluate the performance of Indian states and union territories in achieving electric mobility goals. Second, the index is based on indicators grouped under themes such as transport electrification, charging infrastructure, and EV innovation. Third, in the India Electric Mobility Index 2024, Delhi, Maharashtra, and Chandigarh are identified as frontrunners. How many of the statements given above is /R correct? Option A only 1, option B only 2, option C all 3, and option D none. The correct answer is option C. India Electric Mobility Index is an initiative of Niti Aayog to track and evaluate the progress of Indian states and union territories in achieving their electric mobility goals. Hence, statement 1 is correct. The IEMI uses 16 indicators under the 3 themes to assess performance. First, transport electrification progress, which measures the adoption of electric vehicles and demand side factors. Second, charging infrastructure readiness, which assess the development and availability of EV charging stations and related infrastructure. Third, EV research and innovation status, which tracks R&D efforts, patents and innovation in the EV sector. Hence, statement 2 is correct. IEMI 2024 frontrunners score 65 to 99 includes Delhi, Maharashtra, Chandigarh. Hence, statement 3 is correct. Performers score 50 to 64 includes Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Haryana. Aspirants score is 0 to 49. States and union territories like Odisha, Rajasthan, UP, Ladakh, Andhra Pradesh and others are lagging in their e-mobility initiatives and require targeted interventions. Hence, statement 3 is the correct answer. Question number 6. With reference to the Non-Proliferation Treaty, consider the following statements. First, it is the only multilateral binding treaty for nuclear weapon states on disarmament while promoting peaceful nuclear energy use. Second, it defines NWS as countries possessing nuclear weapons before 1st January 1967. Third, under the NPT, compliance is monitored by the International Atomic Energy Agency. How many of the statements given above is /are correct? Option A, only one. Option B, only two. Option C, all three. And option D, none. The correct answer is option C. Non-Proliferation Treaty was approved by UN General Assembly on 12th of June 1968 and came into force on 5th March 1970. It is the only multilateral binding treaty for nuclear weapon states on disarmament while promoting peaceful nuclear energy use. Hence, statement 1 is correct. Key provisions. It defines NWS as country possessing nuclear weapons before 1st January 1967, which are USA, UK, France, China, and USSR, now Russia. Hence, statement 2 is correct. Membership, 191 members with 5 NWs who are US, Russia, UK, France, and China. India is not a member. Monitoring, International Atomic Energy Agency monitors compliance. Hence, statement 3 is correct. India opposes the NPT, calling it discriminatory as it legitimizes nuclear weapons for 5 countries while denying the same rights to others. India follows a no first use policy and is committed to global nuclear disarmament. So the correct answer is option C. Question number 7. Consider the following statements regarding genetically modified crops in India. First, GM crops are not specifically regulated under any dedicated law in India. Second, since 2022, cotton has been the only GM crop approved for commercial cultivation in India. Which of these statements given above is /are correct? Option A, 1 only. Option B, 2 only. Option C, both 1 and 2. And option D, neither 1 nor 2. The correct answer is option B. Genetically modified crops are plants whose DNA is altered using modern genetic and engineering technology to introduce or enhance desirable traits such as pest resistance, drought tolerance, or nutritional enhancement. GM crops in India are regulated under the rules for the manufacture, use, import, export, and storage of hazardous microorganisms, genetically engineered organisms, or cells. Rules 1989 under the Environment Protection Act 1986. Hence, statement 1 is not correct. BT cotton is the only genetically modified crop approved for commercial cultivation in India since 2002. It now covers over 90% of India's cotton area, around 12 million hectares. Hence, statement 2 is correct. So, the correct answer is option B. Question number 8. Consider the following initiatives. First, Global Alliance Against Hunger and Poverty. Second, Global Biofuels Alliance. Third, India Middle East Europe Economic Corridor, which is IMEC. Which of the above mentioned initiatives were launched at the 2024 G20 summit held in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil? Option A, 1 only. Option B, 1 and 3 only. Option C, 2 and 3 only. Option D, 1, 2 and 3. The correct answer is option A. Global Alliance Against Hunger and Poverty was launched at the 2024 G20 summit in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. The initiative, which aims to reach 500 million people through cash transfer programs and to provide 150 million school meals to children by 2030. India Middle East Europe Economic Corridor was launched during the G20 summit in New Delhi in 2023, which seeks to strengthen trade, economic relations, and regional integration between India, the Middle East, and Europe. Global Biofuels Alliance was launched at the G20 summit in New Delhi in 2023 with the goal of promoting the adoption of sustainable biofuels. The correct answer is option A. Question number 9. Consider the following statements. First, Anji Khat Bridge is India's first cable-stayed rail bridge and one of the highest railway bridges in the country. Second, the Chenab Rail Bridge, the world's second highest railway arch bridge, is designed to remain stable and operational even if one of its piers fails. Which of the statements given above is /are correct? Option A, 1 only. Option B, 2 only. Option C, both 1 and 2. And option D, neither 1 nor 2. The correct answer is option A. Anji Khat Bridge is India's first cable-stayed rail bridge and the second highest railway bridge in the country after Chenab Rail Bridge. Hence, statement 1 is correct. Chenab Rail Bridge, located in Reasi district, is the world's highest railway arch bridge, standing 359 meters tall, 35 meters higher than the Eiffel Tower. Hence, statement 2 is not correct. A unique feature is its ability to remain stable and operational even if one of its 8 pairs fails, allowing trains to continue at a reduced speed. So the correct answer is option A. Question number 10. Consider the following statements regarding the intellectual property. First, it includes intangible creations of the human intellect, primarily copyrights, patents, and trademarks. Second, Paris Convention 1883 and Berne Convention 1886 are both administered by the World Intellectual Property Organization. Third, rights related to IP are outlined in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Which of the statements given above is / are correct? Option A 1 and 2 only, option B 2 and 3 only, option C 1 and 3 only, and option D 1, 2 and 3. The correct answer is option B. Intellectual property includes intangible creations of human intellect, primarily copyrights, patents, and trademarks. Hence, statement 1 is correct. The importance of intellectual property was first recognized in the Paris Convention for the protection of industrial property and Berne Convention for the protection of liberty and artistic works. Both treaties are administered by the World Intellectual Property Organization. Hence, statement 2 is correct. Rights related to IP are outlined in Article 27 of the UDHR. Hence, statement 3 is correct. So, the correct answer is option D. It's the time for practice question. With reference to the PM Kaushal Vikas Yojana, consider the following statements. First, it promotes international mobility and on-the-job training by recognizing prior learning and equipping Indian workers with globally recognized skills. Second, under this scheme, the target beneficiaries include individuals aged 15 to 30 years. Third, it aligns with PM Vishwakarma, PM Surya Ghar Muft Bijli Yojana, National Green Hydrogen Mission. How many of the statements given above is / are correct? Option A only 1, option B only 2, option C all 3, and option D none. Pin down your answers in the comment section below.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.